Our first questions will indeed be from Chairman Mike McCaul, Chairman of the Foreign Affairs Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Let me just say first, I recognize the challenge. It's almost impossible to put money or assistance or aid into Afghanistan without the Taliban taking a cut. They are de facto in operational control, along with some factions of al-Qaeda. And I sincerely appreciate how difficult this mission must be. But Mr. West, the Special Inspector General for Afghanistan testified before this committee that the State Department is, quote, the least cooperative that he has seen in his 12 years. There are 30 outstanding requests from SIGAR, which the State Department is refusing to respond to. I have their letter right here that I'd like to enter into the record, Mr. Chairman. Some of these requests are over a year old, and half of them are simple document requests, which the State Department could easily fulfill today. Will you commit to this committee and to SIGAR to respond to these 30 outstanding requests this month?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I had a chance to sit down with Mr. Sopko last week, and we talked about the continuing cooperation of the State Department with SIGAR. I have to say, his statements before this committee caught us by surprise because they were inconsistent with the October quarterly report that he issued, noting that the State Department is collaborating well with SIGAR. What I'd tell you is that between August 2021 and today, we estimate that roughly 13,000 staff hours have been devoted at the State Department to cooperating with SIGAR. There are pieces of my team, Mr. Chairman. Their entire job is to focus on SIGAR. There are elements of other parts of the Bureau whose entire job is focused on supporting the work of SIGAR. So it's incredibly time-consuming. We respect the oversight role that SIGAR has, and we'll continue to work closely with them. As for the specific 30 outstanding requests, I wish I had looked at them before this hearing. I'd be happy to take a look at them personally.
Well, I would encourage you to. Probably should have done your homework on that, but I would ask you to respond to that, though. If you would respond to me and the committee with respect to the 30 outstanding requests, that would be helpful. Secondly, as you know, this committee is investigating the disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan. We've had now we've got the number of transcribed interviews, but there's quite a few. Some have to do with the Doha Agreement itself. I know you were involved with that, Mr. West, with Mr. Khalizad, or you were actually deputy to Khalizad. Is that correct?
I was not a part of negotiating the Doha
You're not part
agreement.
of the Doha?
No, that was the last administration. I started the day after the president was inaugurated.
Well, we've heard testimony that while there were conditions attached to that agreement, that the president decided to withdraw those conditions from the Doha agreement. Do you know anything about that?
I know there was a lot of back and forth between the staff of the State Department and this committee before this hearing. I'm hoping we focus today on U.S. policy toward Afghanistan following the withdrawal, as is consistent with the title of the testimony.
Do you know whether the conditions set forth in the Doha agreement had any bearing on President Biden's decision to withdraw?
Mr. Chairman, I know there was a lot of back and forth between the staff of the State Department and this committee before we sat down today. It's really our hope to focus on current U.S. policy vis-a-vis Afghanistan and not the withdrawal.
Well, it's a duty of this committee to look at oversight as to past policies of the State Department when it came to the withdrawal from Afghanistan, which then led to aggression from Russia, China, and Iran. Did you have any discussions with Zal Khalizad about the Doha agreement?
I'm very hopeful that the bulk of this hearing will focus on
I'm asking you
US
if you
policy.
had any discussion.
But I'm happy to answer your question.
Did you?
So, you know, of course, the Doha Agreement came up during the first 8 months of my time in this job, in my former title as the Deputy Special Representative.
So the answer is yes, you did. Maybe you can provide. My time's going to expire. Provide to me a summary of those discussions, and then perhaps we will meet with you separately on this matter. But lastly, did you have any discussions with either Mr. Sullivan, Jake Sullivan, or the President of the United States regarding the Doha Agreement pertaining to the Taliban?
No.
Okay. With that, I yield back.